Is BTS Korean enough? Is Arirang Korean enough? On March 20th, BTS, the K-pop group otherwise known as the biggest band in the world, released their album Arirang. Arirang is Korea's most beloved folk song, so this idea of the traditional, reinforced by BTS's own past works like Idol and Taechuta, as well as their company's marketing strategy, seemed to suggest we'd be getting something very Korean. But the album contains a lot more English, and most of its producers and music genres originate from elsewhere. For some, this meant the album was not Korean enough. But newsflash, if it's done by a Korean, it is Korean. That word enough is racist, suggesting that somebody has to prove their cultural identity or that there is only one correct way to be of a nationality. BTS being Korean makes Arirang Korean. But diving deeper, the idea of Korean enough ignores the Korean elements that are fused into the tracks, as well as the Korean influences behind them and their experiences as Koreans in the West. Take the stadium anthem Body to Body, where hip-hop beats fuse with a sample of Arirang itself and alludes to 강강술래, the centuries-old folk art in which women hold hands under the full moon to foster harmony and break social norms. BTS described it to be like a modern 손에 손잡고, or hand in hand, the theme song for the 1988 Summer Olympics held in Seoul. Similarly arousing call to, I quote, break down the walls that come between us. This also was sung by a Korean band in both English and Korean, produced by an Italian, and incorporated the word Arirang into the English chorus. Or what about Alien, a diss track that celebrates their country's hustle to rise onto the global stage? They declare, everybody know now where the K is, before referencing Kim Koo 선생님, a revered leader of the Korean independence movement whose hope was for their country to one day become a global soft power. J-Hope acknowledges that they apparently still look too funny, before RM slyly flips that racist taunt to speak of the West's astonishment at their talent with eyes that are too big. BTS thus reminds us that just as it's good to preserve one's culture, it's also good to breathe fresh life into it, to make the revered accessible and personal. As their byline for the album states, BTS is born in Korea and are here to play for the world. The folk song Arirang has thousands of lyrical, melodic, and contextual variations, but together it has come to represent both the Han and Hung of its people. For BTS, their yearning over their 4-year absence was for the fans, the stage, and the paradox of a new normalcy and a greater ride. Now that they're back, so is their exuberance. Yes, BTS is a Korean icon, but they are not the only Koreans, or even the only Korean artists. Let them experiment, and in doing so, learn new ways to be.